So let me know when we're ready. Maybe we should like take her off speaker so we don't. Maya,
Yeah?
mute your background
Okay.
until you hear me call your name.
Okay.
Count down.
5, 4, you're live.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk with Boss Lady. I'm Boss Lady. I want to apologize for the delay. We are having some technical difficulties, but you know the devil is a liar. So tonight we have some giveaways. We have a Black History Hero contest for the youth ages 12 to 15. And the purpose of this show is just to solely empower people, connect businesses that have been impacted by this pandemic. It's also to help people that are interested in starting their own business. I'm able to give directions and provide mentorship. And for this purpose, if you need to contact me, if you're thinking of opening a business, you can contact me at Glamour Trends. That's GLAMOURTRENDZ, and that's the number 7@gmail.com. Now, for the Black History Month assignment, the contest that I would like the youths to be involved with, because the problem is these youths today, they don't know their history. They have forgotten who they are. We have children nowadays running around calling each other the N-word, and our culture tends to glorify gang banging. And we need to understand that our ancestors sacrificed a lot in a time when they were not valued. And that's what our topic is today, value and fear. So I'm giving the youths an assignment that they can also do, and to show how at a time when culturally our ancestors were told that they were less than a human being, they still had value, because if they didn't value themselves, we wouldn't be able to know about them till today. And they didn't allow fear to captivate them. So I would like the assignment is, and the Black Hero person that I would like them to work on is the George Washington Carver. I would like you to tell me how you felt that he valued himself. Tell me what he's famous for, and this is a paragraph. And please state your name, your address, so I know who I'm giving the prize to. There's first, second, and third. So I need to know what George Washington Carver was famous for. I also need to know how he felt valued, how you feel he did not allow fear to keep him down, so he can make a difference in a time where we were oppressed, where we were told that we were less than a person, okay? So again, send your paragraph to glamourtrends7@gmail.com. Again, that is GLAMOURTRENDZ number 7, at gmail.com. So let's just get into our topic today. Now, I want to talk about, like I said, value and fear. Now, if you value yourself, you will also, and value the things around you, you won't let fear captivate you. Because you see, often fear is what keeps us stagnant. Fear keeps us down. And there's many different scenarios where you can apply value and fear. For example, you can have a friend, you can have a friend and you find that you're giving more to this friend more than they're giving back. So are you a taker or a receiver? How much does that friend value you? How much do you in turn value your relationship with this friend? If you find that you are giving into this relationship more than this person is giving back to you, you have to value yourself enough to know that you're not going to allow this person to just be a taker. I mean, some people are just spiritual, they're destiny killers. And there are some people that come in your life and you think that they value you, you think that they love you, but they just came as an assigned agent to anchor and destroy your destiny. There's sometimes you're going places and some people can't go with you. I had a friend, we and her were friends for over 22 years, and I had to drop her. And I'm very proud to say that. Because I found that I was mentally exhausted because I valued her more than she valued me. Now again, this could also apply to a husband and wife situation as well, along with a mother and daughter, a sister and brother, aunt and uncle, sisters, boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and boyfriend. All these things apply with value. Now you could be with somebody, you could be married to them for how many years, but does that person really value you? I mean, when God gave Adam, saw Adam in the garden, and Adam was lonely, he sent him a helpmate. How many wives are really a helpmate? How many wives know that their husband is working hard, and are you really that helpmate? I don't know, I'm just talking. How many husbands know that their wives are truly a hustler, truly are out there doing whatever they can for their family? Are you truly that helpmate? These are the things that we have to say. But if you value yourself, you will not stay in a revolving door situation. The reason why I say it's a revolving door situation is because you have exhausted all your resources. You've been talking to all your friends, family, and they are overly whelmed about the same old story, the same song and dance, And you choose not to move out of this situation. Why do you feel that you need to be embedded in that situation for such a lengthy period of time? It's because of fear. You see, we as people, we are afraid of the unknown. It could even be with a job. You're working at a job and you keep complaining about the money that you're making, so you get another job. And then you're not having enough family time, and then you get problems at home. When you know you went to school to be an engineer, but yet still you're just working a dead-end job and you're not going anywhere. When you get another opportunity to get a job and you're getting signs and wonder, the universe and God is telling you it's time for you to move, but you allow fear, you allow the enemy to keep you down. And you allow the wrong people that are selfishly want you to stay. You see, some people actually don't want you to surpass them. And this is why you have to have enough value in yourself to say, it's not about you. It's about me. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of being in a job where my boss, my superior, does not appreciate me. I feel like I'm totally invisible and I'm not being recognized for my ideas or any of the things that I'm doing. And you know that you're a very smart person. And you're seeing the signs, but yet still you allow fear to keep you down. And when God is telling you to move. There's another example of fear. There's another example of fear that we can also talk about as well. Because you see, fear is something that keeps us, I always say it, very stagnant. I don't even know why we as today have so much fear. I'm not even going to talk about the pandemic because that's a whole different subject and we're going to be here until Jesus comes. So I'm just going to stay on topic right now. But God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but He gives us a spirit of a bold and a sound mind. So why is it when we're getting signs and wonders from the universe and when we know God is telling us to move, why are we keeping ourselves down? Why are you continually staying with somebody that you know is selfish, that is just anchoring you? Why do you tend to find yourself and gravitate yourself around people that are trying to stay at poverty line? You see, the spirit of poverty, it needs to be cursed. The spirit of poverty needs to be cursed. Generational curses need to be broken. Again, I'm getting somewhere. You're probably wondering why I'm talking about poverty. Poverty is a spirit, and it has to be bind, it has to be cursed. And if you truly value yourself, and when you know that God and the universe is moving for you, you will kick fear out of your way, and you will make the move that you have to make to kick the spirit of poverty out of your life. I kick the spirit of poverty out of your life. I'm a mother of 8. Yes, I said I'm a mother of 8. My eldest child is 25, and my second one is 22. I got 17. I have a 14-year-old. I have a 13-year-old. An 11, a 10, and an 8-year-old, and I'm happily divorced. Yes, I said I'm happily divorced because I chose to not make fear captivate me. I chose to get rid of all anchors in my life. Mind you, I did stay in it for 14 years. Our eldest child is 22. But there was a time when I had to value myself enough. There was a time when I saw that the universe was giving me time. There was a time when I saw that God was telling me to move. There was a time when I dreamt I saw my grandfather, and he told me that I need to move. And I stayed. But when God was ready to move, you have to move, because anyhow he moves you, you may not like when he gets in to move you out of your situation. Because when he said it's enough, and when he said the time is up, and when the universe is ready to move you, they're moving you, and you may not like it. So let's pay attention to value. Let's pay attention to the signs. Let's pay attention to our intuition. It's not crazy. You see, society has changed us so much where they make us think that you have mental health issues. There's a diagnosis or a prognosis for everything these days. And it really doesn't have to be that way. You just have to know how to love yourself. You see, we're conditioned to feel that if I leave my marriage, I will be, I don't know, how are people going to look at me? I'm a single mom. Who said being a single mom is bad? But it's how we're conditioned. We're conditioned to believe that a woman cannot raise a man. I'm very happily to say that I've raised a 25-year-old who is an outstanding citizen, and I am very proud of him. I am happy to say that some single women are doing more than a lot of wives. I am happy to say that some single women are doing more than a 2-parent family. Why? Because she has to lean on herself and God. Because she has to be strong. So don't look on a single mother and say, oh, poor you. Don't do that. Don't. Because you don't know her walk. And you don't know why maybe she had to have been separated. You see, if the yoke is uneven, you have to separate. If two can't walk, they have to move. You have to separate. It's all that it is. And again, it is not just about man and wife situation. This goes completely across the board. It goes with everything that you can possibly think of in today's society about valuing yourself. And if you don't value yourself, how are you going to instill values into your children? We have young black men today, and a lot of the times as mothers, we tend to tell them that you have one strike against you because you're black. Why don't we tell our children that the color of your skin doesn't define you? When I look at myself in the mirror, I see an intelligent woman. The color of my skin is secondary until you make the color of my skin a problem. Then we will have a little bit of a problem. The color of my skin does not define me. I'm a woman first. I have a name. And that's where value comes in. Because when we continuously tell our young black men that, oh, you can't be outside at this hour of the night, you know, you're black, they're going to bother you, you're brown, you're going to be harassed, you are putting fear into that child's head. You have to give kids a little bit of a leeway, especially North American children. You have to give them a certain amount of curfew because we're living in different times. You have to entrust your children and the values that you instilled in them. So if you don't trust the values that they instilled in them and that they will pick good friends, then that says a lot about you as a parent. You have to question your way of raising your children. I'm honestly not really worried too much. I'm not really too worried too much about my children or the friends that they keep. I have to say that they do have a good group of friends, all of them. And I really don't have anything to worry about because, one, they know the values that I've instilled into them. And they also know that, I will go off on them. But putting all of that aside, we can't keep making our young black men growing up be in fear. George Washington Carver, they were growing up in a time where racism was at its, they were living it. They were living in oppression. I don't even know if I could have even handled it, to tell you the honest truth. I just sometimes, I watch some movies and I'm just like, oh my God, there's no way. I thank God that he let my mother give birth to me in this time, in the 80s, because I don't know how I would manage them. I'm just saying, we're just talking. This is Let's Talk. Why don't we just arm our children with the right tools, with the right values, and stop cursing them? Because it is cursing them. It's like you're telling them that this is going to happen. And if you keep them inside the house, then you can't also keep them in captivity. Because when you hold down a child and you don't give them a certain amount of freedom, that's when they want to run out and explore and do all kinds of things. But you just have to arm them and just entrust them and pray. When you have kids, you have to pray. You have to cover them. There's sometimes you got to get up in the night and you have to have a midnight cry. You might wonder why I always draw reference to the Word of God and the things that I say, because that is my foundation. And it doesn't matter where I go in life, I can never forget my foundation because of my upbringing and where I'm coming from. And I thank God for the values that were instilled in me because it modeled me into who I am today. So I'm just here to empower you. I'm just here to talk to you and let you know a little bit more about value, and let you know that life is just about like a game of chess. You have to know how to move the right pawn. You have to know how to sacrifice your queen. So let's really reevaluate ourselves. If there's anything that you can get from tonight, let's look at how we value ourselves, and let's look at how we value our children and value our relationships around us, whether it's work, whether it's with your friend. If you have a friend that keeps asking you for money and God knows when you actually are in need, they're never there for you, that's a problem. You need to surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you, that's going to bring you to the next level. Because you see, people that are not going anywhere, they gravitate towards people that aren't going anywhere. People that want money and want success, they gravitate with people that are also moving up, that are successful. So for me, as a small business owner, I have surrounded myself with some people that are doing better than me because it pushes me to excel and to go higher. You always want to surround yourself with people that are progressive and moving higher. If you surround yourself with people that are just anchors to just weigh down a ship, you are going to reap what you sow. Again, you sow what you reap. So let's really value the relationships that we have today. And don't let anyone use you. This is not the time for anyone to use you. Let's look at selfishness. Some people are just selfish and they only think about themselves. And again, selfishness could also be applied as a destiny killer. There's some things that you may get a vision, you may get a dream, and you might know that, hey, I'm going to open this business. I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to buy a house. Do you know that sometimes you're so supposed to just pray and watch and pray? There's sometimes you're just supposed to keep that to yourself. There's often times when God will send the right people to assist you along the way. That's when you know you're on the right path. Because you'll get people to help you go through. Yes, you're going to get hurdles. Yes, the billows are going to dash and spray, but with a conquering tread, you will push ahead and you will roll the sea away, because what is destined for you cannot be stopped. But it can be delayed, and this is why you have to use wisdom in everything that you are doing. You have to use wisdom in everything we're doing. We have to ask God daily for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because once we apply wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to our day-to-day lives, we can in turn value ourselves more. We can in turn assess the situations. We can also in turn look at, hey, I'm going to buy this house. Let me pray about it first before I start running around. Because before you know, that money that you were going to get, or that bank loan you were going to get, you told the wrong person before it manifested. And the devil just grabbed it. And before you know, you're just like, what's going on? You didn't watch and pray. You got too full of yourself before the vision actually manifested. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the plan. That's not what God wanted. So now he has to dig you out of that situation that you put yourself in. Sometimes we often like to say people obiad us, right? Culturally. Oh, I obiad this, obiad that. Do you know sometimes we're our own obia? Sometimes you obiad yourself. Sometimes the person that you picked up, the boyfriend you picked up, the girlfriend you picked up, was not for you. You picked that person up. Sometimes you picked up the wrong wife. Sometimes you picked up the wrong husband. Had nothing to do with God. And then you slowly see the selfishness, and you slowly see that that person is really not for you. But you stay in it because of responsibility, maybe because of a child, maybe because of the kids. You stay in it. But are you really valuing yourself when you're getting signs and wonders that you should move? I don't know, we're just talking. This is Let's Talk. And then we have fear. We have that fear. And because you have so much fear, you're not using wisdom. It says because of the lack of knowledge, our people will perish. And that's what's happening. The lack of knowledge, people are perishing daily. People are perishing. We're in a pandemic right now, and it's very sad that we are in this pandemic, and people are not collectively thinking about what is really going on. It's so, in my perspective, that there is an attack on the small businesses. There is definitely an attack on the small businesses, because if so many people are going to these big box stores, yet there's no corona outbreak there. I mean, does this virus know to stay 2 meters? Okay, you're 2 meters away, so hey, we're good. Corona's not going to come here. I'm just saying. I went in Walmart the other day and I was wearing a mask. And I'm telling you, there were some people in there, they were green. And if I could smell them through the mask, then how in God's green earth, if I could smell their body odor, how is that going? How is the mask protecting us against this corona? But again, the government has an ulterior motive about all of this, and they are letting people live in a state of fear. But if you read the book of Revelation, you will know that everything is manifesting and coming to pass right now. We cannot allow fear to captivate us. We need to really pray diligently and ask God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because these are serious times that we are living in. And it's only solely because, and they're keeping us at home. And while they're keeping you at home, the problems that you had at home, they're not arising, they're surfacing because they were underlined. They were already there. They were already there. So through it all, you have to give God thanks, because some people, I was talking to some people the other day, and in a group chat, and they said, there's a lot of marriages that are falling apart. And I said, well, the marriages that are falling apart is because they had underlying issues already. But because they didn't spend enough time together, it wasn't manifesting. there's a lot of, and there was also some people that were not married. And I said, well, the underlying issues were already there. Mind you, people will get annoyed if they see each other too much. But I'm talking about concrete underlying issues that are only surfacing now because you're seeing them because you're so much around each other. But yet still, you're still allowing fear to keep you down. Your workplace is calling you back to work, but you have allowed yourself to be so comfortable receiving the government's money that you no longer want to work. You're telling yourself that you're in fear of the virus when you know damn well that you just don't want to work. It's not the corona. You never wanted to work from day one. And now you're using it to your advantage to stay home and collect the money. I'm just saying. You can't use fear and then expect to prosper. And then you want to complain when you don't have enough. But your workplace called you back. And you're just choosing not to go to work. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. But what makes sense to me is that you just overall never wanted to work. And now that you have an opportunity to be in your house and to gain proceeds, it doesn't matter where it's coming from, you're happy. And you're using the pandemic to your advantage. So that's another way where people manipulate and use fear to their day-to-day life. And before you know, it captivates you so much that the things that you say and the lies that you told because you don't want to work, when it catches up to you, and then when they stop your corona money, and then your workplace doesn't take you back, then you're going to say somebody did you something. But it's not. You created your own problem. You created your own problem. You see, you're probably wondering where I was going with that. You created your own problem. And because you created your own problem, the universe said we're going to strike you. It wasn't Obia. It was you. Because you see, you got a certain amount of grace. You had a certain amount of grace. And then when God lifted his hand off of you, because now your employer wanted to bring you back to work, maybe and give you a raise, you said, nah, man, I take the COVID money. You take the corona money, and there's people that really need it that are honestly can't get it. And there's some people that really want to get it and they can't get it. These are times when we need to be our brother's keeper, but we're not our brother's keeper. Instead, we have got more selfish. We have maliciously manipulated people, hurt people, and we just show each other, we just continue to show bad qualities to people that are really non-deserving of these things. So at the end of the day, my word today is to just simply tell you to really value yourself. It doesn't matter who it is. You need to truly love yourself. You need to truly love yourself. I had to love myself. If I didn't love myself, I wouldn't have left my husband for over 14 years because I had to get rid of an anchor out of my life. Since that anchor has been removed out of my life, I have done so much renovations in my home. In 2 years, we have been formally separated. 2 years. And the amount of accomplishments that I've had, you see, I was going 2 steps forward and 2 steps backwards. Things were going good, and then after it's just like, but we're always afraid of the unknown. Human beings are afraid of the unknown. Yet we all say to ourselves, change is good. But we keep hypocrisy. We need to look at ourselves in the mirror. Go to the mirror, everyone. Look at yourself and tell yourself you're a hypocrite. Because you tell yourself change is good, but then when the time comes, when you're hit to the ultimate test, to make a change, you don't make that change. Why? Often because of fear. But I'm telling you today to value yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. My business has excelled. I'm doing great. I have my daughter. I'm going to introduce you to her. I'm so proud of her. She has now launched her own eyelash line. That is the lashes that I'm wearing right now. And she makes custom wigs. I'm wearing one of her wigs. You can find her at Nemoy Lashes. That's her IG. The hair is sold at Glamour Trends Inc. And when you truly value yourself, and especially when you're self-employed, your children will really work with you. My children see how hard that I work and how hard that everything I'm doing is building an empire for them. So they will work with you. But when your kids see you in situations where they know, you see, sometimes we don't want to listen as black people and even brown people because we're culturally the same. The only difference is, brown people, your hair is straight, our hair is a little bit more. Some of us, we have coarse hair, curly hair. It all depends on how much your lineage was raped during slavery. I'm just keeping it real. But, the reality is, we all were oppressed at some given point in time. And what we need to understand is we need to really work together. We really need to work together. The Chinese do it, the Indians do it, but we as a race, as black people, we don't always often work together. We don't always acknowledge or draw reference and give the next person what to do. They say give to Caesar what's due to Caesar and give to God what is to God. Sometimes we don't do that. And that's why I wanted to do this show, because I want to connect black-owned businesses and small businesses that have been impacted by this pandemic. I want to bring us together. For those of you that want to connect and work with me, if I know that the next 2 weeks we will be having somebody on the show, and he can help anyone get a house. It doesn't matter what your credit is like. And there's even a rent-to-own program that I've just recently found out about. You can email me at glamourtrend7@gmail.com if you are interested in that. Now, again, I am just solely about empowering people, getting black businesses together, like I said, getting other small businesses together, and just really trying to help people to curse the spirit of poverty out of their life. So if you are home and you think you have a talent, you're just maybe not sure how to open a business. You see, a lot of people think that you can open a business by just running to a bank and getting a bank loan. The bank's not going to give you a loan. They don't even know if your business is going to even work out in a year. You see, there's often a misconcept when you're opening a business. They think that you could just walk into a bank and you can get a loan. You probably could get a personal loan and start up, but why would you do that? Do you know that I started my business and I never took a loan? Never took a loan. I had no debt when I opened my business. You know what I did? I first climbed the corporate ladder. Yes, I did. I climbed the corporate ladder. I was a receptionist, and then I was an administrative assistant, and I went up to be an office manager's assistant. And after when I started having the kids, it was too much to go back and work and everything like that. So I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, and I ran my house like a corporation. I literally had a verbatim schedule. Kids eat at this time, this was done, groceries done at this time. I ran my house like a corporation. I still do. But we often want to run a business with no experience, and you never worked for anyone. You need that experience. You need to know how it is to work for someone. You need a certain amount of customer service skills. I went back to school and got my business management diploma, because you see, you need knowledge. I did not want to just be like someone that just had a little bit of money and opened a shop, and I didn't have the knowledge behind me to stay in business longer than a year. When I opened my first shop, there were so many comments, so many bad comments that was said about me. Oh, you see, she had her little shop, she soon shut down. Let's see, 4 shops later, been in business 5 years, no bank loan. You know what I did? I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I did. And this is why I'm the perfect person to help anyone. I can make any business be successful, and I can help you grow your business. I started my business being a stay-at-home mom. Working class mom went to being a stay-at-home mom. I worked two sides of the fence. I saved $500 out of my child tax benefit every month. When I couldn't save $500, I saved $3. When I couldn't save $3, minimum $250 a month. I didn't take the money and bought Jordans for my husband. I didn't take it and I bought lace front wigs. I made sure my children's needs were provided. I was in the trenches. So when you see the woman that you see before you, when you see me and be like, oh, she going like she nice, you know. And when you see me wearing maybe the designer clothing that I can afford to wear now, it's solely because the struggle is real. And I saved that money for how many years that I started buying the stuff for my shop, because the vision was there, and I had people that really prayed with me, prayed me through. And every time when I just felt like I was like, Lord, I can't do this. This is no, I can't. It's too much. I got signs and wonders. The universe gave me signs and wonders that said, Melissa, keep on pressing. I'm going to share a testimony with you guys. I was supposed to move from Toronto. I got signs and wonders that I was supposed to move from Toronto, and I didn't. And again, the universe kicked me. This is why now, a lot of people that know me very closely, when I say my spirit tells me something, I don't make any joke. I do it because of everything that happened to me in 2014. And the universe uprooted my whole life, and I was told, I knew I was supposed to move to Peel region. And I found myself in Malton at that time. No longer live in Malton, but I found myself in Malton. But I wasn't supposed to stay in the Malton community. It was for me to open my shop there. So God had to uproot my life, make me feel so uncomfortable. The only place I could find to move to was the city of Malton. Because there was a purpose for me. There was a breakthrough for me, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So he uprooted my life. Sometimes, you know, we all know the story of Job, where God allowed the devil to touch Job. So I felt like I went through a Job situation where I was touched. But in turn, he turned out to give me double. He gave me back double for my trouble. And I thank him daily, and I keep my prior life. So anyhow, me living in Malton, I'm just going to bring this quick. I just kept, every day when I dropped the kids to school, I just kept craving a French vanilla. I kept craving a French vanilla, and every day I walk past the same little shop, and I just keep craving this French vanilla. And I have a French vanilla, and my spirit said, that's where your shop's going to be. And I said, okay, yeah. Day 2, you feel for a French vanilla. Go back. Maybe I should take the number. Oh, I don't have a pen. Get my French vanilla and leave the mall. Day 3, my spirit said, you know, don't you want a French vanilla? I went to the mall, got another French vanilla. Passed the same shop. And my spirit said, you're not going to call the man about this shop. This is the shop where you're going to open. This is where your store is going to be. And I said to myself, I don't have a pen. Again, this is day 3. I'm telling myself, I don't have a pen. My spirit told me to take a picture with my phone. And my spirit just tends to get abrupt. When I really need to move, my spirit gets abrupt with me when I really need to move. And I took a picture, and I went home, and I called him. And the rent was exactly what my spirit told me the rent was going to be, and I could have afforded it. And that's how I got my break. The landlord there was so good to me. He gave me 1 month rent free. When he saw I was having trouble, he said, you said you were moving in on this day. What happened? I said, I need a little bit more inventory, and if I could probably just get maybe 1 month free rent, it would really help me. He said, I don't want to just take your money. I want to see you open. I'm going to work with you. And he was Muslim. He was a Muslim. And he said, I'm going to the temple. I'm going to pray. I said, okay, you go pray. I'm going to pray too. And I left it as that. And he called me back. He said, I'm going to give you 1 month free in October. I said, thank you, Jesus. And that's how I got my break. And Glamour Trends has grown, and it has grown, and it has grown. So till Glamour Trends can now birth, Let's Talk with Boss Lady. So tonight I am telling you that if I didn't value myself, you wouldn't see the woman that you see in front of you right now. Because my ex-husband told me, oh, you shouldn't open a shop. You shouldn't do this. You know, we have a rent to pay, and you're going to rent a shop. But I was looking at the vision that my children are getting older, and I don't want to be like some people when all your kids turn 18 and you're not getting that baby bonus money, you go and have another kid. I want to live my life. You know, I want to build an empire for my children. I want to relax a little. And that's why I did what I had to do. Because I valued myself. And I wanted to see myself go further. And I did not allow fear to captivate me even when it seemed rough. So if your next business that you want to open, whether it's selling cars, whether it's baking cakes, whether you want to do car detailing, and if your significant other does not have the same vision as you need to think about that. Even if you want to buy properties and flip them, the vision sometimes is meant for you. And sometimes where you're going, some people can't go with you. If you tell you this your vision to your friends and they do not appreciate your vision, it's often meant that they're not supposed to go to the next level with you. And you can't allow fear to keep you around those same people. Because if I did, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that's enough of talking about that. I hope it was very informative. I have a young lady that I'm going to get online. Her name is Maya, and I'm very proud of her. She's someone that I truly admire. She's a young woman, and she's doing a lot in the community. She's a traffic lawyer, paralegal lawyer, and I would like her to really tell you what she is doing at her age. When I think about her and her life and her walk, I often reflect on myself. There's so many things that she tells me where I find that she's mirroring to me. And sometimes when you're going to a next level, just like I was telling her, you know, God has a way, the universe has a way of connecting the right people in your life. And the same way God connects the right people in your life, He drops people out of your life. Sometimes you have some clients that are really come in your shop and just really uproot your day. You have to tell them to come in the name of Jesus. Come out of my shop. I have done it. And for every person I have told to come out of my shop, God sends 3 more that has the same vision as me and respects the business. So again, don't let fear captivate you. I'm going to get Maya on the line. Maya?
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
That's great, Mama. That's great. I'm just letting everyone know that I am truly, truly proud of you. And
Thank you so much.
everything that you're doing. So you are a paralegal.
Yes.
And could you tell us what area of law? I know I've mentioned it. Because I'm just so proud of you. You know, I just often, like, when I talk about you, you know, I talk so highly of you. And you know, the funny thing is, I don't even know this young lady for so long, but it's a divine connection. And that's what it is, you know? So what area of law do you practice?
So right now I'm practicing traffic law, so provincial offenses, traffic court, anything to do with speeding tickets to driving with a suspended license. And I also practice small claims court. So I'm able to represent you if you're suing someone for $35,000 or less in Ontario.
Well, that's great. That is very good to know. I honestly wish I met you before. I had somebody I needed to sue.
Oh no, how long ago was that?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well, there is a limitation period, so if it's within 2 years, you know, you still have a chance, and there's always the option to ask for an extension, so keep that in mind as well.
Okay, well, maybe I'll let you know when I want to sue my ex-husband.
All right.
I'm sure I could cook up all kinds of things.
Oh man, we'll have to get a lawyer for that.
We'll just leave that one alone. So,
Okay.
so why do you feel so compelled to help people? And I know you mentioned that you solely really target young black men. Why do you feel so compelled to help people in this area?
Well, you know, when I was studying law, I was in college studying in the paralegal program. It's really stuck out to me that I was one of 2 or 3 other black people in the class, in the program, right? And it was kind of the same trend going into university. And in my program, I wasn't studying criminology. I was studying legal studies. And it's really like the boring part of the law, the theory. And I found that a lot of people in my community weren't interested in that. But in the same sense, when I started to do my practicum, which is the practical learning part of my education, I was working in the courts a lot. I worked in regional court, I worked in provincial court, I've worked in superior court, and now I work in federal court. And it's kind of the same trend that I'm seeing is we don't know our rights. We know that we're innocent. We know maybe what we can do to fight, so as in hiring a lawyer, but it's still like we still hire the lawyer, but we don't even know what the lawyer is doing, or we don't know if the lawyer is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I found it really important to provide knowledge to my community. Tell my community or provide the things that they need so that they know their rights. They know when they're being taken advantage of. They know when their rights are being violated. So it was kind of really inspirational for me to try and provide that knowledge to people in my community.
Well, that's really great because, I mean, at a lot of the times when people get pulled over, they don't often know their rights. And,
Exactly.
you know, there's a term that I've heard people have said, driving while black. You know, I've heard that term before. I even hear that it's a term even with brown people too, driving while being brown, because you know they drive those muscle cars and everything. If you
Yeah.
come to Westwood Mall, they be speeding in the parking lot and doing donuts and stuff, you know. But
Yeah.
I really commend you as a young woman, and you're taking the time out to really, at your age, make a difference to the community like this, you know. And it's not just that you want to help them get back their license, you're also consulting with them. You're actually telling them what they're doing, and what you mentioned before is oftentimes lawyers, they give you their money, and you give them your money, you're paying them for a service, but some of them don't often talk you through exactly what is going on. I mean, I've been into a situation like that before. I had a lawyer fight a traffic ticket for me, and at the end of the day, he fought it, but I was nailed with a fine, and I was like, that wasn't a part of the plan. So
Exactly.
I felt like I was bamboozled, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you sit in traffic court, you'll oftentimes see that a lot, where people are appealing the conviction or they're appealing the sentence, and because they hired someone to go to court for them, and something went down in court or something went down during trial that the defendant wasn't even aware about, and then now 10 years later they're trying to rectify the situation, which is 10 times harder, right?
Right.
But I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned earlier when you're saying, like, why do we have to tell our sons and these young men how to move, or not to go out at certain times, or not to be driving with loud music, let's say, or don't tint your windows too dark, or don't do certain things? Why is it that we have to do that if we know our rights? And it goes back to, like, I have a son too, he's only 5 years old, but I do think about whether or not I'm going to have to tell him those things. You know what I mean? Without instilling fear, like what you were mentioning earlier. So that's part of what keeps me going, is like that incentive to see how this all plays out for my kids when they get older and stuff like that.
Well, I completely appreciate where you're coming from, and you're absolutely right, you know. I'm glad that you're doing this movement because you are a mother. Your son is 5. You have a long way to go, but I'm really glad that you understand where I'm coming from, because it is fear. It is fear that we are putting into them, and then but I'm glad that you're around, that you're able to give these young black men the knowledge that they need about, and their rights with driving, fighting their traffic matters, and overall just giving them the knowledge that they need, so they don't feel like that they're doing something wrong even when they're not. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm very proud of you, Maya. I can't say it anymore. So what is your vision for providing individuals with help with their traffic matters? Like, what was your overall, I think we mentioned it, I really like the fact that you did say that, you have your son and you think about all these traffic related issues. So what is your sole vision? What is the core reason why you're so amped to do this?
Well, I do hope that in the near future I'm able to open a firm or open up a place where people can come and get the legal advice that they need, get the mortgage advice that they need, get the services that they need. The same thing that you're doing, bringing awareness to small businesses, is the same thing I want to do, is bring awareness to our community. There's tons of firms downtown. There's tons of legal offices, traffic ticket offices that will take your money and go to court and plead guilty for you. But what I want to do is I want to have assistants in there. I want to have people in there, students in there who are learning the legal field. Like, I just want to build on this because it's so important. There's criminal law that I'm not really good with. I don't really understand that too well, but there are criminal paralegals out there just like me, young black professional criminal paralegals that can provide services to our community so that people don't have to spend thousands of dollars retaining these lawyers who don't even really care about your case, right? So that's my vision. I hope to have my kids grow up and be passionate about bringing awareness to their community as well. Not to say that they have to follow in my footsteps, but I hope that they find it interesting enough to, bring to their generation, and it just goes from there. So I hope to be part of that new generation, that new vision.
That's great. And again, that stems into value, because you're instilling these values into your children. So your children will in turn see where you're walking, and they will manifest it. They will go on the same path as you.
Yes, I hope they do, because the possibilities are endless, and they can do whatever they want to do, but as long as they know that they have a purpose and they're appreciated and they're respected, then they won't go out there and behave like fools, right? They'll go out there and they'll want to carry their head held high and their neck held high, and to say, I'm somebody who brings something to the table, right? So that's what I hope that they can grow up and feel.
For sure. And the reality is, you have set a path, and I think that's an amazing idea that you want to open a firm. And you'll be surprised, because like my daughter is walking now in my footsteps. I have a business, and now she can piggyback off of our business. We want our children to piggyback off of us. We want them to surpass us. So I really commend you and your vision. I really commend you for what you're doing with the young people, and just overall giving them the knowledge and being able to help people with traffic matters. And you don't just deal with traffic matters, mortgage. You're also you also provide microblading services. She did my eyebrows. everyone, because I don't have any eyebrows. I don't. I don't have eyebrows. Maya does eyebrows. She microblades eyebrows. She did mine. They're amazing. I'm going to let you, Maya, I'm sorry. It does hurt. It hurts.
It's okay. Don't worry. Please be honest. Please be honest.
Listen, we're on Let's Talk, and I'm just keeping it real. I had 2 shots of Ray and Nephew and Stone Ginger Wine. 2 shots. Remember?
Yes, I do. And we made it through, and you look fabulous.
I do, don't I? You know, and
yes.
I don't have to worry about bothering Drew and everything to get my eyebrows done and everything. So, girl, you are just you're amazing. You are making women beautiful with doing eyebrows. You are giving young people information regarding traffic violations, traffic matters. Black men are driving without their license. Black women are driving without their license. You are helping them. You are petitioning to them. And you know what I like about you? You also remember the fear of God in you. And I really like that about you. And that's why you will be blessed. You are blessed and highly
always
favored.
God fearing. It keeps you humble. It really keeps you humble.
It does. And I always, from the first time I met you, I said the humble calf sucks the most milk. And I really commend you for everything that you're doing. If you have any form of traffic matters, and you are watching now, if your license is suspended and you need help, Maya is here to give you free consultation just on your case. On your case, she will give you a free consultation. I'm not at liberty to discuss her fees. You need to contact her directly. Maya, you want to let everybody know how they can get in contact with you real quick?
No problem. You can give me a call or shoot me a text at 416-884-9857, or you can email me at Maya, M-A-Y-A, at mjlegalandfinancial.com.
Well, Maya, Mama, it was really a pleasure. It was really a pleasure talking to you. You are amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to share this experience together, because like you said, you just run into like-minded people. You run into people who remind you so much of yourself, and you're truly an inspiration to me, because now I can see that where I can go. So thank you so much for this.
No problem, Maya. I told you I love you like a daughter, and there's not many people that I really say that to, but when I say that I take you as a daughter, I take you as a son, just know that I will always be there. I have a client that I literally take him under my wing, and I told him that you could be like a son to me. Can I tell you that? And I know he's watching. You know who you are. I know you're watching. His life has turned around dramatically, and I'm so proud of him. I won't say his name, but I'm proud of him, and I know he's watching. I'm proud of you. So it was a pleasure having you, Maya. Take care, and we will talk again.
Thank you so much, for sure. Thank you.
And for everyone who is, bye, Mom. Bye, Maya.
Bye-bye.
So for anyone who is trying to get a hold of her, you can also email me at glamourtrend7@gmail.com. In the next 2 weeks, March 21st, I will have a list. I will have an Instagram or a web page set up. So anyone that I have mentioned, you can also reflect on the Instagram page or the website, so you can get in contact and you can network with these business owners. And yeah, so this concludes my show today. And I just want to thank everyone at home that has been watching. I want to thank you for taking your time for watching, whether you're at home, whether you're at work. Our next show airs on March 21st at 7:30 p.m. We will be on time. We had a little bit of technical difficulties today, but to God be the glory, great things He has done. Amen. So I want to give special thanks to my sponsors, JJM Web Services. He has done the little 5-second video that you guys have seen on YouTube. I want to thank him. And he also will be doing some other, he has done a lot of my web designs that you guys see at Glamour Trends. He's amazing. He's a really good client of mine. So if you need any type of web designs, please contact JJM Web Services, okay? I want to thank LITDN. You can hit her up for doing backdrops, towers like this. She's a good friend of mine we grew up together. It's and she's made this beautiful tower for me. So if you need any of these for any of your events, please hit up LITDND on Instagram. And again, if you can't find anyone that I've mentioned, I will have an Instagram page and everyone will be on there. You could also email me and I will send you their appropriate email address, phone numbers, and contact information. I also want to thank Nemoy Lashes for these beautiful lashes that I have on and this wonderful custom wig. The hair is supplied by Glamour Trends Inc. And Nemoy Lashes is my daughter. This wig is amazing that she made. Ebony is doing such a wonderful job. I am so proud of her. I want to thank Royal Haven Salon and Spa. It's a good friend of mine. We went to school for mothers together. You know, we've gone so far. I mean, Rashane was a baby, and she was pregnant with her first daughter when we first met. And I just want to thank her. Her IG is Royal Haven TO. And I want to thank her for this wonderful chair she gave me. I want to thank TGC Financial for the thumbnail and the cue cards that I'm using. You can also see her for all your accounting needs. See TGC Financial on Instagram. And again, if you cannot find any of the businesses that I have mentioned, please feel free to email me. And last but not least, I have to thank Brother Sheldon from Hope Ministries. He's my tech guy. And you wouldn't be able to see me right now if it wasn't for him. So I want to thank Brother Sheldon from Hope Ministries. He is amazing. He's very patient. You know, he never got frustrated once when we were having a little bit of difficulties. And I thank God that he has connected me with him in this season. And last but not least, I want to thank the Ultimate Cut Barber. I want to thank the Ultimate Cut. These wonderful lights, I have to thank my good friend Drew. A lot of you people that know me personally, you should know Drew. And you know, Drew has been a good friend to me. He's been there, doesn't matter what storm is blowing. He's a dear friend. And good friends like that are better than pocket money. You can't find them. He's like a brother to me, and I just have to say, Drew, I thank you. The lights are amazing, and I will be using them. I will be using them again. So this concludes my segment. For today, remember value, and remember to value yourself and fear. Remember value and fear. Value yourself so you can love yourself, so you can let others appreciate you, so you can go to the next level. You have to have value. And don't let fear captivate you and keep you in a revolving door in a downward cycle. Right? Okay. So, I want to thank you again for everyone who's tuned in to my Let's Talk Corner. Thank you for watching. I'm Boss Lady, and this is my Let's Talk Corner. And I'm out, and I'll see you on March 21st at 7:30. Later.